Hi there, I'm Rue. Welcome to my video. Are you ready for the stories? Today's stories include Women's Job, Honda Rhonda, Not Your Personal Spa, All Shook Up, This Is Not a Zoo, and Not Handicapped Enough. This video shout out goes to Lady Seamus with your comment, I actually don't mind flat soda, long as it's cold, I don't care. Welcome to the dark side. We have Flat Coke. And without further ado, this is not a zoo. Moos and does at the airport. Moms and dads. So I'm traveling with my stepdad and pets. It's an international flight and stressful. Both the cats and dog are already frightened from being in the crate, airport noises, etc. As predicted, most of the kids in line instantly catch on that there are pets in the crates. There's a couple of shrieked out, cat, dog, animals! But nothing happens. Until a big family are waiting aside from everyone else since they have baby carriages and all that kid junk to board. Straight away, two kids, a boy and a girl, I guess 3 to 5, come up to the carriers and start making noise, pointing, staring, obviously working themselves up to put their hands into the crates. I say politely to the parents who are smilingly watching, "Excuse me, this is not a zoo. Please call your children back." Both crotch goblins must have inferred something from my tone because they returned to their parents for about 5 seconds. Same to return immediately after, this time boldly attempting to reach into my dog's carrier. I tell the dad, again, since he was closest, "Sir, this is not a zoo. Please control your children." Nothing happens aside from the dad and mom frowning bitterly at me. Both crotch goblins are now circling the crates and pawing at them. This time I yell, "This is not a zoo. Control your children." Dad calls over both brats. The girl starts sobbing and throwing a temper tantrum because, "I want to see dog." Dad shouts, "What the frick is wrong with you? She just wants to see your animals. They're children. They won't bite your pets." I again reiterate that I am not running a zoo, and his kids aren't entitled to harass my animals. Dad comes storming over. My stepdad jumps in front of him since he looked like he was going to attack me. A small woman. Dad starts screaming more of the same. "They are kids. What the frick is her freaking problem? My daughter wants to see the dog. My son loves cats. What is wrong with you?" Stepdad calmly asks him why he is shouting. Dad is actually trying to get at me. I was filling in some paperwork for our pets. Stepdad still calmly blocking him as airport staff starts getting involved. Dad screams that we shouldn't be bringing animals outside of our homes if we don't want children to look at them. Stepdad coolly asks the dad, "Why not leash your children then?" The dad storms off like an overgrown child, gently escorted by a few staff members. Both kids are wailing. We hear snatches of, "Want dog, want cats," amidst the sobbing. Dad shrieks back to us, "Freak your dog and your cats!" I say something equally foul back at him. His brats continue having a meltdown right up until they leave the area. Next, while waiting for the pets to be taken to the animal boarding area, a mother appears with a baby and a toddler. I'm unfortunately alone with the animals. My stepdad left to finalize payment for everyone to travel. She drags the toddler right up to my timid cat's cage. I tell her, "This is not a zoo, ma'am. My animals are frightened enough as it is." Mombi gives me a vacuous smile and says, "Okay, my boys love dogs and cats though." This is an actual baby, like a small baby, possibly an infant, so what the frick can it love about anything? That's nice. My animals are already scared. Please leave them alone. The toddler starts shaking my cat's carrier. I get rude again. "You need to control your child and take him far away from my animals before I call security." "Yes, but he loves animals," she whines as she reluctantly drags him away. She then sits on the floor with the baby and the boy feet away from my dog's carrier, saying feces like, "Look at the doggy! Look at him!" And she doesn't discourage the older boy from walking up to the cages yet again. I go to the first staff member I see and explain this Mombi isn't getting the message about staying the frick away from my pets. Staff member approaches Mombi and explains. Incredibly, I swear I'm not making this feces up, Mombi says, "Yes, my little boy adores animals and he really likes the small cat. He just wants to say hi to them." She once again circles back to my cat's carrier and starts jostling the baby while letting the toddler go straight up and start babbling at my cat. This time I told a staff member who was standing there just as absolutely friggin' baffled as I was, "I don't want to have a serious problem with this woman. She and her child are harassing my pets. I have repeatedly asked her to leave me and my pets alone." Staff member physically guides the Mombi away, who is mindlessly talking the whole time about how she doesn't understand why I won't let her kids just see the animals or let her son pet the cat through the cage. Not maliciously, mind you, not even offended, just in a stupid, vapid, brainless tone of voice. "Why won't she let him see the pets? He loves animals, he always has. We have a cat home and he loves her." Then I saw a parent with her 3 girls. One girl began playing with the tag of someone else's suitcase. The mom shut that down straight away. Kept repeating, "Remember, we're in an airport. Stay in our family limits." The kids were quiet and polite waiting in line and were just as quiet and polite in the plane from what I saw of them. Kids are annoying by nature. Good parenting makes a world of difference. Oh my god. I feel like this is I don't know if that was a thing like back in the day, but I feel like it's an increasing thing that people don't understand, that just because someone is a kid doesn't mean they get extra leeway with things. I actually have a personal thing going on that's similar to this, where it's this kid who keeps coming to our house and ringing the doorbell, even though we've told her not to, and going around to our backyard and hammering on our bedroom windows, asking if we're home, even though we've told her not to come to our house because she wants to see the cats. As if she's entitled to it. As if we're running a zoo. We don't want her here. It's just mind-boggling because we've told her so many times. It's not like she's stupid or anything. She just very clearly have never heard the word no. Like, she's just like, "Oh, if I just persist, I get what I want." And it's driving me nuts. Like, I don't want strangers in my backyard, and many of my cats are anxious around strangers and it needs to be their safe haven, and I've tried to explain this to this child, but she refuses to listen, and it's like, when someone tells you not to come to their house and you keep coming anyways, almost daily for a month, like, oh my god, why are you teaching your child to be like this? Oh. Honda Rhonda by Jem. Hi, I love your channel and I thought you might like the story about me and my family when we were trying to sell my car. First thing about my car. At the time I was selling my Honda, it had $1,200 worth of body work done on it, because a lady ripped off the top bumper cover and my best friend's dad backed into it by mistake in the same week. So yeah, we wanted to sell it after that. Now to the story. We first tried to sell it on Facebook and got nothing but no-shows and scammers. Like one lady who tried to get every single detail about me to try to steal the car. So after my mom and I got tired of it, my big brother tried selling it. His first offer was an entitled lady. She offered my brother $1,300, which we would have happily taken for my car. She said she'd come by our house and look at the car. She never came. So we put it back up for sale. 2 weeks later, she sent my brother an angry message. It was, "How dare you put the car back up for sale?" My brother said, "You never showed up." She then told us that now we must give her the car for $900 and take it over to her because we lied about the car. Her car guy friends said so because you can't buy a car like that so highly priced. The thing is, my dad and my brother work on cars too, so after my brother said that, the lady went quiet, and a day later sent my brother a message, "$900, my last offer." My brother said no and blocked the number. Selling on Facebook is a roller coaster. I don't recommend. I feel like no matter though, like if it's on Facebook, just online, you get so many insane people who are just entitled douche nozzles. So, yeah. Women's job?
Cleaning is a women's job.
Background. I used to work at an antique store. This place was quiet, large, and had furniture and such in it. Like many places like this, we have to clean. Dust, vacuuming, polish the wood, clean the glass, stuff like that. I was the supervisor and this guy was new and we were training him. It's a lot to learn. And when it's slow, I'll have him clean to keep busy, or other projects the owner would tell me to get done. By the way, this was years ago. I had an increasingly hard time to get him to clean. I kept nagging and asking him to do simple stuff, and then it turned into me scritching and screeching before finally he says it. Cleaning is for women. I literally called him a moron. Not sorry. He kept saying he had a job before cutting trees and such, more labor-intense jobs. But he got a job at an antique shop. Sure, every once in a while we'll have to move a dresser and an armoire, but we mostly did setting up, paperwork, negotiations, which I handled because I memorized the contracts with the vendors and consigners most of the time, and auction intake and setup. Cleaning was a primary part of the job. Cleaning is a primary part of a lot of part-time jobs. I'm sorry that you feel so entitled that you won't pick up a rag and whip off a table, but your female supervisor was asking you, then telling you to. And I'd help clean up. I'm not in a desk playing on my phone either. I feel like the last thing was unnecessary because you're his boss. I don't care what gender you are, if your boss tells you to do something, and you feel too entitled to do it, then you should get fired. Period. End of discussion. I get so annoyed when like some morons say, oh, women's jobs, cleaning is women's jobs, taking care of children is women's jobs, and it's like, you're just saying that because you don't want to do it. It's just a convenient excuse. It's not like we live in the age of you running around hunting shit for us to survive, and someone had to stay behind to take care of the children, so that's just how that worked out. That's not where we're at anymore, dude. And I find it really sad that people like that have been brought up to believe that, oh, women should just take care of men and guys should just not be able to do basic life skills. Like, that's sad. Like, if you can't clean or like cook for yourself, you're basically a child and you can't take care of yourself and you have to rely on others. And I feel bad for you. What is this? A spa?
It's not your personal spa.
I'm at the local community leisure center, sitting in the changing rooms, and this white woman is standing outside the private shower cubicles, yelling at a poor lady to
get out of the shower. It's not your personal spa. Get in and get out. It's supposed to be a quick shower.
Like, honey, if you're in such a rush, there are open showers right next to you. Stop yelling at people who are just living their best life. She's now been in the shower for at least 5 minutes. Get out of the shower. It's not your personal spa. I feel like this is typical behavior of people who think that they decide what other people do and also those rules don't apply to themselves. It made me think of a very unpleasant thing that happened to me once, actually. I was having a gynecological appointment, and for any of y'all girls out there knows that that's not fun, having some stranger poking around in your lady bits. And it was one of my first times ever having such an appointment, and I was not feeling, too yay about it, and I was in the bathroom for like 1 minute changing out of my underpants, because, you have to take your underpants off, and this nurse starts pounding on the door saying,
"We don't have all day. You've been in there forever."
Like, you're about to poke around in my most intimate area. This is not making me more relaxed. Like, come on. What is wrong with you people?
All shook up,
yeah. Middle-class old person put in their place. By Ginger Ninja, $3.98. So Waitrose, mid-high-end grocery store near me, offers free tea and coffee with purchase, and recently transitioned away from using disposable cups and requires you to use reusable ones. Completely fair enough, right? I was in to pick up a parcel, and there was one person behind the counter, obviously frazzled, while this old fart is standing at the side complaining, not only about everything taking so long, he was just before me and I waited less than 10 minutes to get served, but also about the free coffee now costs a $5 because he didn't have a reusable cup. He turns to me and goes, "This is ridiculous, isn't it?" I turned to him and went, in my best clipped northern Glaswegian posh boy accent, "Well, one generally doesn't tend to sweat the small stuff." The man looked so shook he shut up almost immediately. I'm sorry that I butchered the good accent. It sounded so much better in my head, and probably when you said it, I imagine it must have sounded epic. That's so funny though. I feel like some people, they're just waiting for something to complain about. That's just their life, and I feel like they give themselves like leeway to become more of that as they get old. Maybe that's why it's always like the old farts that get noticed for it. Maybe people just think that younger people being like that are just being butt crevasses, but yeah, I don't know. Save the planet? How dare you? A $5? Rude. Not handicapped enough. Get out of that handicapped spot. My son is moderately autistic. He is also a runner, eloper. This is why we got a disabled placard. The shorter the distance we have to hold his hand in a parking lot, the less likely he is to get away from us. I sprinted through several parking lots running after my speedy child before we got the placard. Even though we have a disabled placard, we try to never park in the first spot if we can help it. We try to leave that open for people with wheelchairs or other mobility issues. This day we parked in the third handicapped spot, which happened to be shaded by a tree. Since I live in a state that occasionally swaps weather with hell, I found the location of the spot to be a bonus. I get out of the car, walk around, and start unbuckling my kid from his 5-point harness. Suddenly I hear someone yelling,
Hey you, move out of the handicapped spot. I need it.
I pull my head out of the car and turn around to see one of the largest people I have ever seen sitting in a truck with the window rolled down. Her arms seem to ooze out of the window and onto the door. "Ma'am, I can see 3 other disabled spots from here. Please park in one of those. I'm not moving."
I need that spot. It's shaded. I doubt you're even disabled. I bet you stole that placard.
"Ma'am, that's my son's placard. He has autism. Now please leave us alone."
I'm calling the cops. I know a stolen placard when I see one.
Then she drove off. I ignored her and went inside to do my shopping. Kiddo got a Thomas train, so he was happy. When I came back out, an officer was standing by my vehicle. "Hello, sir. Is there a problem? I got a call about a stolen handicap placard. Is this your vehicle?" "Yes, sir. The placard is for my son. If you look on the placard, it says no DL for no driver's license. This is my son the placard is for. He has autism." "Yes, everything checks out. I wonder why someone would call about this. It's obviously not stolen." "You see that lady parked 2 rows down? The one in the red truck who's taking up 3 parking spaces? You may want to talk to her. She seemed very upset I wouldn't give up this parking spot." "Okay, thank you, ma'am. No justice boners here. I have no idea how this ended. I had to get my kid to therapy. However, I did see him drive over to her and go up to her window. Then she seemed to be yelling and gesticulating wildly. I hope she got what she deserved, but who knows. When I read stories like this, I always feel really thankful that I live in a place where people respect handicap spots. I feel like just in general, in Norway, people respect handicap spots. At least where I live or where I've been, they're always open. And if they're not, you know it's someone who needs it. And it just blows my mind that people would either pretend to be disabled to get into them or try to bully people by saying you don't look disabled. Like, what does that even mean? That is so inconsiderate and rude. Like, how dare you have a disease or ailment that I cannot spot? Give me the spot right now. I need it more than you. Like, what is this, a competition about who's most disabled? Like, oh my god. Oh, that's all I have for you guys this time. I hope you enjoy that and you'll come back next Friday because I post every Friday. You're awesome for watching. If you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe so you'll be notified, and check out my social medias to see what I'm up to. It's mostly very strange things, like my recent homage to the Lonely Island's boombox song with wide mouth filter. Actually pretty proud of that one. Yes, living my best life. See you next time.